Well, gonna go check on a modem that has been dropping out. It's the same one that's been dropping out for quite some time now. It will drop out for like 2 or 3 days periodically, 5, 8, sometimes 10 times a day with no pattern whatsoever. And then they'll come out and change a wire, change the modem, or something. Change the splitter to change the dB, whatever the technicians decides that they feel that is the issue. And then it will work fine for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month, maybe 2 months, and it will start doing it again. Last year, they ran a new drop from the pole to the home. And I have my box with the modem mounted in it on the outside of the home, so I have access to it. I thought maybe the box was making it get too hot because it was around a air conditioner during the summer. I put a fan on it. Still dropping out. Eliminated that problem that it could be the modem getting too hot. I have went to the extreme, and even now the modem is actually inside of the residence, which in a way I really don't like putting them in there because I don't have access to it by just showing up. But this location, they're pretty much somebody there all the time. So I thought I was going to eliminate the issue. Maybe the modem was getting too hot even though I had a fan. Now it's inside, away from the elements of the outside. Still got the same problem. So I'm going to go over there, and to eliminate all of my equipment as much as I can. The only thing I'm going to have in my equipment is my laptop with an Ethernet wire plugged into it and plugged into the modem directly, and shut down my whole network. And I already sent an email out to everybody that's attached to these towers, all 3 of them, both RV parks, that I will be doing some testing, so internet will be going in and out even more than it already is on its own, because I'm going to unplug all the equipment so it will be completely, my system will be completely offline. It will be isolated to itself. Then I'm going to take the laptop, plug in the Ethernet wire, plug it into the modem, and run a ping to 8.8.8.8 and let it sit and see if it gets the same results that I was doing sitting here at my RV last night. It's already dropped out twice this morning, and it is see if I can see the time. It's 1:28 in the afternoon right now. I told him I'd be there at 2. But this morning, about 8 o'clock to about 11, it would drop out for at least 4 or 5 minutes. Now, I was told by a couple of the technicians that they don't see anything on their side unless it's more than 5 minutes. Well, sometimes it's been more than 5 minutes, so I want to see if they see anything now. And hopefully I can be on the phone with somebody logged into the modem from their side, and when I tell them it's okay, it just dropped out on the ping. Do you see anything on your side now that's saying it's not working? See if they can see anything. while they're actually logged into it. It may not send them any information or make a log unless it's more than 5 minutes. But if they're logged into it and know that it's actually just dropped out on my side, they are already logged into it, possibly see something. I don't know. Now, this is the same issue I had at the last RV park that I got up and running, and that's the Sneeze Ferry RV park. Now, the last technician that came out at that park, he took the wire that on the tap that fed my equipment and that home. They have a residential account there as well. They said they've been having problems way before even I got there. Now, this last technician decided to run the wire on the other side of the house. You can see that in some of my previous videos. I still got to go bury that cable, rest of it. He decided to go up a different pole and plug it into a different tap. I have not had any issues since then. No dropouts. The only time it dropped out is somewhere between midnight and 6 in the morning, but that's when Spectrum actually does their shutdowns of doing repairs or upgrades, or like firmware or anything else, or they got to work on a line, they got to shut a certain line, trunk line down or whatever, and do some repairs and then turn it back on, whatever. That's when they do theirs. So that was normal. But during the day, it has not dropped out like it used to. I'm thinking that's the same issue they have here. Goes the wire, the drop from the tap at the road on the pole, the wire from there all the way to the bump pole, which is a pole between the house and the pole at the road itself. And then the bump pole goes to the house itself. All that wire's been replaced twice since I've had service there. The splitter has been changed at least 3 times that I know of, that I can recall. So the wire from the tap out at the street all the way to the bump pole, to the other pole, to the house, to the splitter, and from the splitter straight to the modem in a box that was outside, all that was brand new at a time, and it was still dropping out. So everything's been replaced. Even the modem has been replaced. I don't know how many times, I would have to look, but it's quite some time, amount of time that it's been replaced. At least 4 recently that I know of, right off the top of my head. So the wire from the junction box with the splitter, coax cable splitter, to the inside, that wire has never been replaced. But I don't think there's anything wrong with it, because I'm still having the same issues even before that wire came in play. Because the wire was from the pole to the pole in the yard to the splitter box of Spectrum, and then they put a new wire from there over to my box and screwed it right into the modem. So everything was brand new. Even the junction box, that one of the technicians replaced it. So that's even been replaced, which that wouldn't have anything to do with it, but that's how extreme and how far and how new all the stuff is from point A to point B. The only thing that's not been changed is the tap that it's plugged into. Now, since it's less than 5 minutes of dropping out, they don't see anything on their side. So when they tell me they look at the modem of other customers that's screwed into the same tap, they don't see any issues there or dropouts. Well, that's probably because their dropouts are no longer than what mine are. So it's not going to show up on their so-called radar in their software. So I'm going to go there and just, I hate to do it. I hate to just disconnect everybody, but it seems like long as I've been here for, over a year or two, this issue just seems to not go away. And I need to go to the extreme of things that I can do to figure out what the issue is. If I plug into that modem and it starts dropping out and it don't have no time, I might have to stand there for an hour or two before it decides to drop out. Or it might not drop out until, when it gets 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know. It don't have no pattern. The temperature and all that. I looked at temperature and when it starts dropping out, see if the weather's changing, see if it's cold, see if it's hot. Nothing lines up at all. It can be a extreme hot day, have no issues. It can be another extreme hot day 2 or 3 days later, and it can drop out like crazy. There was no pattern of anything else that I can get to line up with the pattern that it was actually dropping out. So I'm going to go over there and I'm going to plug in a laptop and I'm just going to sit there and twiddle my thumbs and just watch ping for however long it takes and try to get somebody on the phone so they can actually look into the modem and see if by any chance they see anything, because sometimes it was more than 5 minutes, the time frame that they say they don't see anything. And maybe get a technician come out here and run a drop, even though the last time he came out here not too long ago, a week or so, ran a new drop, but it's in the same tap. I'm going to look to see if there's another tap somewhere that it can be ran to see if that will solve the problem. If not, they're going to have to get linemen out here or something to go up there and change that tap or something, because it's all pointing back to it, because everything else downstream from the tap, downstream all the way to the modem, has been replaced multiple times. Regardless if I have that wire from their splitter box on the side of the home to the inside, rather I have that in play or not, it don't make no difference. One day they ran a new line from the pole to the bump pole to their box, and from their box to my modem, and within 3 days later it started dropping out. So that was all brand new. Even the modem was changed out then. So that tells me right there, it's not the modem, it's not the wire, it's not the splitters, it's not the drop. There's only one thing left. It's the tap at the pole at the street, because that is where it's always been plugged into, regardless what work gets done or items or equipment that gets replaced. It's always plugged into that same tap. Now they may change taps on that hub, but it's still that hub itself. If you got a bad power strip, don't matter which plug you plug it in on that power strip, it's going to act up because it's a bad power strip. Replace the power strip or plug into another outlet somewhere. I think that's what it's going to take, is they're going to have to get the lineman out here to get the bucket truck or whatever, come change that tap, or run my drop to another tap, if there is one that they can run it to, that it's not too many feet, because they can't run that line so many feet, because you get voltage drop and the modem is not going to work as well as it's supposed to be. Going to be an interesting day. And I got another RV part that was dropping out like crazy for some reason yesterday, and I thought it was my equipment, but I logged into my account for that location and looked at the modem, and it said it was disconnected. It was offline. So that's not just on my side. It's their modem is dropping out. So, but it hadn't dropped out today. At least I haven't gotten a notification of it. So let's go and see what we can do to get this resolved once and for all, because I want to get this done before it really gets busy of people showing up here in the RV park. It's kind of like ghost town right now. I can look both ways and I see one car down there and no cars the other direction. I see one truck right here, but they leave that all winter. They don't even drive it except during the summer. It's always here. So I need to get it fixed. Or Spectrum needs to fix their tap, because I got to say that's what it is, because nothing else is, everything else in the system on their side has been replaced multiple times and the problem still exists. It's very aggravating when I get that notification and then I start getting texts of what few people hear. But I know how frustrating it is, because I've been here at my RV in the last 2 or 3 days quite some time, and sitting there watching videos, and then it will come back and my TV will pause the video on there, or I'm trying to send an email. It's aggravating. I know it is. I've been on the customer side of internet that periodically drops out. It's aggravating. And it's just as aggravating, if not more, as the one that's supposed to be supplying the internet, when the one that I have that supplies me the internet is not giving me solid, uninterrupted internet. It's pretty much out of my hands, except I can call and complain about it, but I can't fix it. Unless I run a wire and go climb a pole and try a different tap. But I can't do that. So I have to rely on them to come out here and take my analysis of what I've had gone through with all this and explain to them that the only thing that's not been changed is the tap, the hub, or whatever the technical name is for it, has not been replaced, or it has not been plugged into another one, and see if the problem goes away. But I'm going to keep complaining. I'm going to keep calling until they get this thing fixed, because it's there's no reason for this have to keep going on as long as it's been going on. And now, since it's been 17, 18 minutes of me saying what's wrong, let's actually go see if we can get them to fix it. Well, finally got Spectrum to actually listen to what I've been saying all this time, that after I got all the wires replaced, modems replaced, splitters replaced, drops been replaced, that it is the tap right there seems to be the issue, or the line that's feeding it is the issue. Don't know which. In my case, the wires from that tap up here all the way over to here, the modem is in here, everything's been replaced 3, 4, 5 times. Modem, the wires, splitters, everything. And the issue has not been resolved at all. It's still dropping out. So I don't know how lucky I got of who I got on the phone this time with Spectrum, but she was actually willing to, in a way, analyze everything that in the notes. And she said, yeah, I see everything's been replaced more than once, and you still have having the problem. And it's been dropping out for like 5. As I was saying before, I got a spam call. She saw that the history showing I kept on having a history of dropping out, and it's only been dropping out like for 5 minutes or less. And then it started dropping out even more for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Last night, I stayed at my RV. And since they keep telling me they don't see anything unless it's over 5 minutes, I said, okay, now they have some history on their side now. They can see it. So I came over here and done some pings, and it was dropping out for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And this location has a residential account as well. So I plugged in my laptop to it and have nothing but the laptop on it and done the same ping. Sat there for 30 minutes and it done the same thing as my modem was doing. Drop out for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 3 seconds, 10 minutes, same thing. So that told me it's not the modem, it's not the wires. It's the same scenario I had all from day one when it was acting up and doing this. And she looked at the notes and said, yeah, I can see that you're having this issue and it's continuing doing the same thing and everything's been replaced. So I'm going to see if I can get a lineman out to check the tap and replace it or whatever they feel needs to be done. So this is the first time that I've had any bucket trucks actually have to come out and fix an issue. But on another RV park, I had the same issue, and the technician stood there and listened to what I told him that was going on all this time. And he said, it does sound like the tap has got an issue. It may be waterlogged or something. He says, I'm going to plug you in another tap. So he ran a wire on the other side of the house, the one I have to still go finish burying in the ground. He put it on another tap on that next pole down. Well, the problem has gone away. And it's been 3 weeks. And I haven't had that issue anymore. So I'm thinking it's going to be the same thing here. So we will see. They're supposed to be here between 4 and 5, and it's 3:27 right now. So I'm going to sit here and see if they show up early or fashionably late, as their technicians do sometimes. I've only had one not show up in the hour frame, like 4 to 5. They always showed up between 4 and 5. I only had one that showed up after 5. It was like 10, 15 minutes after the hour was already gone. But he said he was on a job that just took time to get it back the way it was supposed to be. So I'm going to sit here and wait for the bucket truck and see if this is going to solve the problem, and then go back to my RV and get me some more coffee. But I'll try to record everything I can of when the bucket truck gets here and see what they find. Well, it is raining now. It was sprinkling like a little mist, like it was real heavy fog, and you stand out there, you could feel it. And then I actually felt the drops actually then hitting me. And now it's really raining. Not real hard, but it's a good solid rain. I took the opportunity to go next door because I noticed that them two homes over there are off the exact same tap that is right above the car here on this pole. And I went over there and asked if they had any kind of issues with their internet. And the young little child, I would say that can't be no more than 7, 8 years old, was standing there next to the lady that identified herself as grandma. And when she told me that she don't stay there, the grandma don't, she just picks up the kids and brings them home. So I asked the little child, said, do you have any problems with internet? She said, yes, sometimes it just stops. And then it comes back on. So what she was telling me, it was doing this, it's doing the same thing as what mine is doing. And the residential account here at the same place I got my business. She didn't say it was dropping out. She said, yeah, it just, watching a movie or something, and just a little circle comes in the middle and just starts going around. I'm like, okay. She don't know all the tech stuff, but it's still telling me that what's going on, and that's pointing me to the tap up here even more. And even grandma, she lives down the road 2 or 3 miles, and she said she had similar issues of her internet and television. She had a top box and she could be watching a program and it would just freeze, and then a minute or 2 or 3 or whatever, it would start playing again. And she said they came out and had the bucket truck and up on a pole doing something where, where the cable was plugged in out there, and she hasn't had the issue since. She got rid of the top box because just the price and all. She pretty much just got internet now, and they use like a Roku box. But she said after they done that on the pole, the problem went away. She said she still had the top box for cable for at least a little bit over a half a year after they done that, and then never had any issues after that. So I'm thinking even more that the tap up here is the issue. Because when grandma says, that's what solved her problem, they're having the same issue as I am on the same tap. The other RV park had the same issue. They changed it to another tap. They didn't replace the tap. They just plugged it into a different one on the next pole, and problem solved. So it seems like when we eliminate the tap, problem goes away. We will see if that will solve the problem here as well. But another RV park was dropping out, and I don't know why it was that last night for like within 6 hour span, it was just come and going, to come on for 10 minutes and 45 minutes later to go out another 5 minutes. I don't know what was going on, but it hasn't dropped out since I got up about 6, 7 o'clock this morning. Don't know. I'm going to look at that one after they get this one done. Hopefully that solves the issue completely 100% that I've been having here from basically day one. Boy, I just getting these spam calls all day when I'm trying to make a video. But after they do this one, change this or whatever they got to do, take the plugs out and change it, the guts of it or whatever, I don't know. Never looked inside of one. Never had the privilege to look in that kind. So hopefully they do whatever and it will solve this problem that I've had here. Like I said, basically from day one since I've been here, and the residents here had the same issue before I even got here. So we will see if that was the problem all this time, and all these wires replaced and modems changed out. All this was basically for no reason, because that wasn't the problem. We will see. And since it is somewhat raining on and off, I'm going to try to record what I can when the bucket truck gets here. So I'm going to sit here and wait and get all the footage I can for you. Hopefully I'll see you a little bit. Well, this technician decides to do something that no other technician's done, even though I told all of them the same thing, that this orange wire goes from this pole over to their box, has never been replaced. It's been tested, but not always the testers are always right. So we're going to see if that's anything, but they still didn't send a bucket truck. They just send a regular technician, and then he's going to have to put in a ticket and say no, the problem wasn't solved, they couldn't find anything, and make another appointment and see if we can get that fixed, to come out there to get that tap, because I told him everything about the next door neighbor having the same problem. He said that's what it sounds like, but he can't touch it. So here we are again, doing the same thing, getting something else changed out, but still probably not solving the issue. Lovely. Shovel. All right, he's got the as you saw, he's got the new cable from the pole, bump pole, to the box, and now he's up at the tap, and he's going to test it with his meter and see what kind of readings. He said on the app that he was looking on his phone, it was not giving something, but he's up there testing the taps and see what kind of reading. But he said something about the upstream something on the app was not showing what it should have been doing. So he's going up there on the tap and actually plug in the meter and see what actually readings he's going to be getting. And if he's not going to get the right readings, he said he'll probably put in a ticket or call whatever to get them to come out and check the tap. So we'll see.
He changed the box out.
No, he can't go that far. He can test what's up there, but that's it. All right, I'm back at the RV. He changed the wire that's never been changed before. So now from the tap at the road, the drop, all the way to the bump pole, all the way to the splitter, all the way in the house, all the way to the modem, has been replaced 100%. He done some testing at the tap at the road. He said it's all clean. He done some testing at the splitter on the side of the house. He said all looks good. Then he went inside and took the coax cable that's feeding the modem and done some testing there. He said it's all clean, upstream, downstream, and all numbers that he's satisfied with. It's supposed to be
in what range. So he could not find anything that he can report for them to dispatch a lineman or whatever to check the lines out here, the tap and the main line from pole to pole, which is sad because I have a feeling that's where the issue is. It's just going to keep going until they get their act straight and stop sending technicians out here that's doing a wonderful, great job, each and every one of them so far. But that's not where the problem is. The problem is in the tap, or it's in the line that's going pole to pole. So they need to just get somebody out here and check everything else, not here at the house, because everything's been replaced, everything's working. I tell you, if they keep going, I'm going to get compensated for all this mess that I'm going through for them not getting the problem fixed. It's been going on not for just months or weeks, or it's been years. There's no sense in this. They should send a lineman out here to check it out at the pole and down the line and whatever, because I've already confirmed that the next door neighbor that's on the same tap at the same pole is having the issue that we're having at my location. So when it happens again, I'm gonna let them have it, because I'm not going to tolerate this much longer. It's just ridiculous. But thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe, like, and share, and please leave comments, good, bad, whatever, questions or ideas or whatever. I don't know, just I like the interaction and get a different perspective on the situation. It's crazy how they just keep doing the same thing over and over. It's psychotic is that's the definition. Do the same thing and expecting a different outcome at the end. You're not going to get it. You're not fixing the problem. I'll see you in the next video.